Let me show you 3 camera models from different brands that are specifically great for entry-level photographers and hobbyists. What's good, everyone? Welcome to the very first episode of Instant Photo Tips. So glad to have my audio improved after the first video disaster. And today we're gonna get to catch some Pokemon. I would say, but nah, I wish. But instead I'm going to give you 3 ideal picks for your starter cameras if you're starting your photography journey. So just like these 3 Pokemons, these cameras from each brand have different abilities. So choose based on the specs you care about the most in a camera. And a disclaimer, this is not going to be a hands-on video, but I had hands-on experience personally with these cameras and owned one of them for years. Let's reveal the first one, Canon Rebel T7i. This is the camera that I started personally my photography journey with. So I guess that makes it my Charmander then, huh? It's a perfect balance of price, shot quality, and ease of use. So I think it's a pretty good price and balance and everything. Let's talk about the price first. I know many of you guys are concerned about the price, and let's get it out of the way. $650 personally seems pretty fair to me, especially thinking about most entry-level DSLRs are being ranged between $350 to $800. So Canon is in the middle in a good range. And let's talk about more of its specs. 45-point autofocus system, touch point focus can easily ease the worries of beginners from focusing struggles, which used to be one of my main struggle. Probably many of you are having a hard time focusing on their videos or photography. And also the flip screen, gosh, the flip screen is the Canon strong hand, and I'm a big fan of it. Let's be honest, Canon does it right all the time. And talking about a little bit of video, this camera shoots 1080p 60 frames per second. I got too many questions about 4K, but let me be clear, and during your beginning stage, crashing software because of 4K or using too much memory space for just a quick videos should be the least of your worries, as I use 1080p all the time and no one even notices the difference unless they're not a creative. So camera also has a built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to connect and transfer on the way if you need it. And let me finish with the build quality because of Canon. So nowadays I'm shooting with Sony, it's another disclaimer, but I always rank Canon as the #1 in build and design and comfortable holding, grip quality and everything else in that design mode. Let's see the second option, which is Nikon D3500. Under $400, let's be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of Nikon, neither of its color science. But the price itself can attract so many beginners who is not sure if they want to pursue a career in photography or how long they would like to keep doing this, unless they discover their inner passions or such. And here's a deal breaker with this one. This camera is relatively small size and it can take at most like 1600 shots with a full battery charge. For a photographer, let me explain this. This can work almost a full day as an easy to carry around camera. You know, it's pretty lightweight and its battery lasts great, and up to like 1600 photos. That is a great deal. And megapixels, ISO range, and basic specs are pretty much similar to the T7i I just mentioned earlier, and it can also automatically transfer a shot right after you take it if you set the right settings for it. And although here's a con about Nikon, let's be honest, it lacks touchscreen. What? Okay, I totally agree for 21st century that everything has to have a touchscreen, right? Right? Anyway, it's still a great option for most beginners. This will be a Bulbasaur, to be honest. The very last camera I'm going to talk about today is Sony a6000. As a current Sony user, let me start with a bummer this time. In Sony cameras, I'm questioning the lack of tilting flip screens, and it's not different. This one is not different. Although if you pay a little bit more, you can get this upgrade model of a6100, which has one. It's kind of a surprise that my Sony a7 III doesn't have that, and it's pretty great camera, mirrorless. Anyway, other obvious fact with this mirrorless camera, it's below $1,000 price level, and it's around $500. For a mirrorless camera, that's gold. So it's a great price level for a mirrorless camera. And it's an APS-C sensor, so if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it now. But in the future, if you want to go to the professional with a full frame cameras, you might have to hurt your bank a little bit, just a little bit. Anyways, A6000 has 11 frames per second continuous shooting with subject tracking, which most entry-level cameras usually gives you up to 8 frames per second, so it is pretty fast. I guess the burst mode earns a thumbs up for this, right? Oh, also don't forget to thumbs up to this video if you're enjoying so far and if you're still here. And touchscreen. Let's talk about the touchscreen. I think it can be included in the cons because Canon and Nikon have much more responsive screens. So I'm not a big fan of the touchscreen in the early level Sony cameras, but they've been fixing all of those, the color signs and the touch screens, and even the flip screen has been fixed with the legendary latest update of camera, Sony A7S III. We're gonna talk about it in another video. But in video wise, it also shoots 1080p 860 frames per second, which is once again all you're gonna need in your early stage for video. If you're really obsessed with 4K at this point still, check out A6100, which can shoot 4K 30 frames per second just for a $300 price difference. Overall, Sony is my favorite brand as a professional, but from a beginner perspective, I must say A6000 seems like a little bit falling behind of Canon Rebel T7i on this specs. Alright, we listed our 3 picks for our first camera choice. I try to keep budgets as low as possible. I hope I never exceeded any of your budgets with these models, and I hope one of these really meet your needs, as I suggest you not to lose too much time picking your first gear ever. I wasted days or even weeks before I was reading all these Amazon comments and making my mind each time, watching all these YouTube videos. Maybe I was watching 20 to 30 videos per each gear or lens. It wasn't that necessary at all. You just gotta know what you're buying it and why you are buying that camera for videography or photography, and just know the basic specs and you'll be fine. And if you enjoyed the video, now it's the best time to put those thumbs up below as I get my daily dose of positivity from you guys. Keep creating videos for you all and help you more in this journey. And also, don't forget to join me by smashing that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. But that's it from me now. I'll see you next week. Stay safe. Ooh. I'm here again. All right.